Yo, 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 yo. What's good? It's your boy Kev back at it again with another video. Advice if you're in the military and you're contemplating on getting out, if you want to stay in, get out, if you even want to go in, this could be advice for you as well. Overall, in today's video, I'm just going to talk to you about me getting out the military, how I feel about it, what caused my decision. Just the real about it, you know what I mean? How I feel about being out the military and being a civilian now. Let's get to it. So first things first, let's talk about why I joined the military. So I joined the military 2017, June 26th or June 27th, 2017, right? At this point in life, I did not know what I really wanted to do. I've always been that person that kind of like, that dreams big. I've always been a big dreamer, but never an accomplisher, is that a word? I've never been able to accomplish what I set out to, you know what I mean? So let's backtrack, rewind. So I graduated high school 2014, right? I'm 25 years old right now, I feel old, it is what it is. But graduated high school in 2014 and immediately I wanted to go play football, college. I'm like, yo, I wanna go to the biggest college, I wanna play football, all these big dreams. But mind you, no way of accomplishing any of these things. So, you know, I took it upon myself to go to Auburn University, you know, War Eagle, go Tigers. That was the first college I went to. 18, straight out my mama's house, out the crib. And it just wasn't, I did not do what I needed to do, you know what I mean? I wasn't mature enough to truly, to understand my responsibilities of going to class, going to work because I had a full-time job at the same time. Had my own apartment, had my own car because my dad was in the military, so I had a GI Bill, so I was able to like get paid to go to school essentially. And I really had a great situation that I should have taken advantage of, but I did not. I ended up getting academically suspended. I ended up getting put on academic probation, which in turn turns to academic suspension. So long story short, got kicked out. Went back to New York, where I'm from, right? And I'm going to Queensborough Community College. It was humbling. I call it 13th grade, bro. Like, it was real deal with the 13th grade. But at the same time, it gave me like you know, in high school, you kind of get like you look down at community colleges. I don't know, I think it's just an overall thing. You look down at community colleges for some reason. But honestly, community college changed my life, to be honest. It was a great opportunity for me to be in I wasn't ready for a big school. It was a great opportunity for me to be in a classroom setting where it was only like maybe 20 students, you know what I mean? At Auburn, it's like 150 in this big ass auditorium. You got an eye clicker and it's like, just to take attendance, you have to press a button. It was like a whole lot, you know what I mean? But community college definitely gave me a chance to get my act straight, get my GPA up. My GPA was like non-existent. I brought it from there to probably like a 3.2 or something like that. So going further along, right? So at this point, I'm in community college. I'm working as a busboy in a restaurant. I worked at Panera Bread. I'm a personal trainer at a gym. And I'm doing everything I need to do. You know what I mean? I'm handling my business. But when it came down to, let's say this, I made my dad a promise. I had a conversation with my dad when I got kicked out of college, right? When I went back to New York, I had a conversation with my dad, and he was like, in this year time frame, if you don't do what you need to do in order to make enough progress to being a grown man, you know what I mean? Not just like living, but to be able to sustain a lifestyle by yourself in New York, then at the end of this year, you need to decide to go into the military, because at least you're gonna mess up and still be getting taken care of, you know what I mean? As opposed to you just out here wilding. So I made that promise to my dad. Yeah, at the end of this year, if I'm not where I need to be, I'm going to the military. So the end of that year comes. So now we're in January, or December of 2016, January 2017, right? So I applied. So I literally have one more class left until I get my associate's degree. It's a speech course, right? So I end up applying to go to this other school called Brockport, University of Brockport, SUNY Brockport, whatever. It's upstate New York. And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna play football. I'm about to go to this other school. It's gonna be dope. I got my grades up. I'm about to get in. I'm definitely gonna get in. So I end up getting denied from the school. Turns out, even though I got my GPA up to a 3.2 or whatever, like my GPA from Auburn, because it was so low, they combined it. It was so low that it brought my GPA down. It was so low that it brought my GPA down to about point something less than what I needed it to be. Man, when I tell you I was devastated, I was hurt. I remember calling a lady on the phone, and I'm like, is there anything I can do to get into the school? She's like, you just need to come next semester. You can come in next semester. And I'm like, she not understanding. Like, I don't have a next semester. I made this promise to my dad, and I gotta go. Like now, I gotta go. And obviously, nobody's holding a gun to my head. I really ain't gotta go nowhere. But, you know, I'm a man of my word. I gotta do what I need to do. So, at that point, January 2017, I moved down to Georgia, stay with my dad so I could join the military. So at this point, just like obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, but it's a lot of things I've done to myself. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, it's one of those things where you grow and you learn. You have to learn somehow, you know what I mean? So I ended up going down there in January. I ended up staying there until June and just getting ready to join the military and everything. And we'll have another video about that because we'll talk about physically training to join the military, because I know a lot of people are like, what do I need to do? Like, physically, how fast do I need to run? How many push-ups do I need to do? Whatever, like what should I do physically to join the military? And I'm gonna tell you, because I got the keys. I got the major keys to that. I get to Georgia, end up joining the military, right? So at this point, I don't know what I wanna do in life. You know what I mean? Like literally, I get to basic training and my dad told me to pay attention to detail. So literally I got to basic training and that's what I did. Every day I woke up and I was like, I'm gonna be the best person I can be today. I'm gonna do everything the best I can, and I'm gonna pay attention to detail. If they tell you to pick up a book, just pick the book up and stand there. If they tell you to make your bed, just make your bed, finish it, stand there. It's simple, you know what I mean? So by the end of basic training, it had really hit me that I had accomplished something. Like this is the first time in my life I had accomplished, like truly said, I'm about to do this. And I accomplished that, you know what I mean? So after that, it was kind of addicting. I was like, oh, say less. I'm gone. So after that, I go through my military, my time of service and whatnot, and I still don't know what I want to do. You know what I mean? And my first 2 years were just like fun, just fun years. You know, I wasn't really thinking about anything. I was just out here wild and doing whatever I wanted to do and still being taken care of because I'm in the military. You know what I mean? But so December of 2019, I deployed and I went to the Middle East, right? So while I'm out there, when you're deployed, literally all you do is work out, eat, and work, and watch movies and stuff. Like, there's nothing but time. There's nothing else to do. So I took it upon myself to just start reading books and try to get to know myself and try to ask myself a couple questions. Who do I want to be? Where do I want to be? And what do I want my life to be like? You know what I mean? After asking myself these questions, I ended up going on this journey and just reading books. First book I read was The Alchemist. Changed my life. Big emphasis on The Alchemist. Best book I've ever read in my life. So I read The Alchemist. And during this time, I'm literally like, I'm coming up on like, shoot, this is like coming up on 3 years, right? I start asking myself, now is the real time to be like, are you gonna get out? Because I had a 4-year contract. Are you gonna get out? Are you gonna stay in? What are you gonna do? So immediately, I wasn't gonna get out the military. I was gonna go into ROTC, go to college, and then come back in as an officer, because that was the goal. You know what I mean? I already had gone to college, and like most of the officers are like the same age as me. You know what I mean? Because it just was like that. So I was just gonna come back as an officer. But then when I started to think about it, I started adding up the time. So I'd have to go to college, do like 4 years, you know what I mean? And then come back and have an obligation of like 4 years. So that's like 8 years on top of my already 3 or 4 years in the military. You know what I mean? So at that point, it's like, that's crazy to fathom. And you're like, I might as well just do 20 at that point because I'm already put in so many years. So I had to really think about it. And I literally was committing to it. I was like, yo, I'm about to do this. I started talking to officers and networking out there. And I'm getting plugs, getting plugged into colleges and all this other stuff. But I still just wasn't sure. So basically, I ended up talking to my man's K, right? And I came up with 3 directions, 3 paths that I could go down. One path is go ROTC, and then come back in and be an officer, and then probably just retire out the military. That's probably the thought. Second path is I work computers. That's literally what I do, like networking, system admin, stuff like that on the actual jet. So at that point, I have my cert. We can just do contracting, you know what I mean? Because that contracting military is just like right there. If you in the military, you know what I'm talking about. It's like literally right down the hallway, go ahead. Or I can just get out. Just get out, go to school, and get a job and handle it that way. So I talked to my man's K, and he was basically telling me like, which one do you not want to do? And I was like, well, I really don't want to be in the military anymore. All right, well, that one, gone. Becoming an officer is gone. I don't really want to do that. Me personally, I don't really want to be in the military to continue to do that. My thing about being an officer was you have to follow more rules. Like literally you have to follow more rules. And if I'm barely okay with the rules I have to follow right now, like as an airman, enlisted, why would I be an officer? You tell me. That one's off the table. Me being an officer is off the table. I don't want to do that. So then I started thinking about contracting. I'm like, you know what? I'm probably gonna do that. So basically what I ended up doing was deciding, yeah, I'm gonna just flat out get out the military. But I don't do anything without a plan because I'm not a dummy like that. You know what I mean? No offense to anybody that just does things willy-nilly, but that just ain't me. I need to make sure I know that I can eat and have a roof over my head, no matter what. So basically what I did was, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get into college and I'm gonna get a job. Those two things need to happen. But in order for me to get a job, I'm not just gonna get any job. You know what I mean? So I need to get a job where I have full benefits. Medical, dental, vision, all of that other stuff, all the adult things with a 401k. I need a job that has that. And then I also need a job that's flexible enough for me to go to school because I still want to get my degree. It's just one thing, even though I don't really care about going to school like that. I just really want to get my degree to say I have my degree and accomplish that. You know what I mean? Because it's been a journey. I need to do it. You know what I mean? Right now, when did I get out? June 26th, I got out the military, right? Today it is July 17th. So I'm not even like, I'm like 2 weeks, 3 weeks out the military right now. It's really too soon for me to say how I truly feel about being out the military. But from right now, I can tell you, I don't feel bad. I know for a fact I do not feel like I regret leaving the military. And I honestly don't feel like I'm gonna feel like I regret that I left the military. I don't feel like I will. My opinion on the military. So, I feel like in total, the military made me a better person. Like, just for the simple fact that I accomplished that one thing, which was graduating basic training, and it gave me just like more structure, you know what I mean? So the military definitely gave me a lot of positives, a whole lot of positives from the military, whether it be me getting certifications or me getting, I have a whole associate's degree from the military. I have an associate's in avionics systems technology from literally the military gave me an associate's degree. There's so many pros that came with me being in the military that I can't say that, oh, I hate the military, I don't, like, nah, bro, like, I can't say that. But at the same time, you have to understand who you are as a person. Me as a person, I feel like it's hard to be an individual in the military. It's hard to be somebody that wants to be in charge of things like in charge of your own life, not just things, because you can be a supervisor and all that other stuff. But I'm more independent minded than what the military will allow me to be. You know, in the military, at the end of the day, you follow rules. That is what you do. But for me personally, a lot of the times you have a supervisor or somebody that's telling you what to do. Me personally, how I grew up, I need to see who you are before you tell me anything. Because for a long time, I was raised by a single mother. So for a long time, my mom was the only person that could tell me something. Only person that I'm going to listen to that's like, yo, do this. You need to do this. I'm gonna do that. And even then, like, I was hard-headed, but that is the only person I would truly listen to. If he wasn't my mom, I was not listening to. That is just what it was. So to get in the military, I need to understand who you are as a person. If you're worth me following, because I'm not a follower. That was the number one thing my mom told me as a child, was not to be a follower. So I get into the military and I'm conflicted a lot of the times because there's a lot of people telling me things that they're not necessarily leaders. And especially me being in the Air Force, like the Air Force is more so like a corporation than a military branch. So literally, as opposed to like the Army or the Navy, well, not even the Navy, let's not say the Navy, the Army or the Marines, where it's like, sir, saying everybody's rank and stuff like that. Like the Air Force is more like, hey, Bill, hey, how you doing, Bill? Like, it's more relaxed in that sense, but it's still a military branch at the end of the day. But what I can say is, it was hard for me to take orders from somebody else that I truly didn't feel like should be telling me what to do. Because I personally feel like, well, I've always been in a leadership position, whether it had been in football in high school or got to college and all that other stuff. Like, to get into the military, I was also in leadership positions, like from the beginning. So I've been leading people, and I take being a leader very serious because people depend on me. From the beginning, my mom used to tell me that somebody's gonna depend on you. You're gonna be a father one day. Somebody's gonna depend on you, so you need to handle your business and act like that. So for me to take instruction from people that I don't feel like should be leaders, just point blank period, it was a conflict for me. And as opposed to get into arguments with people, like nobody would really argue with me because it's the Air Force, bro. Like, it's real nerdy. Let's just say it's real nerdy in the Air Force. And I'm a nerd too, but come on now. So it was hard for me to take orders from people that I truly didn't feel like I should have taken orders from. So that's a huge conflict. So at that point, I knew I just need to go. I've always dreamt big, and I know for a fact I want to be the head of the company as opposed to the worker in the company. And I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I want to be the queen bee as opposed to the worker bee. I don't want to be a worker bee. I want to work smarter, not harder. You know what I mean? So I heard one person say, just take a look at the top person in your company, organization, whatever. The money they make is the most money you will ever make. That is the most money you will ever make in your life at that company, is what that top person makes. So automatically you have a ceiling. And in the military, it's like boss. A million miles down, then it's you. So you literally have to answer to so many people. And that's personally just not what I'm trying to do. I want to own my own, and I want to take care of my own people, and I want to create opportunities for other people as opposed to being told what to do. Along with it just being like, it's the military, so it's service. You're sacrificing a lot. One thing that influenced my decision heavily was when I deployed. When I deployed, it was December 2019 to May 2020, right? So everything happened. COVID, like the thing with Iran happened, you know what I mean? Like, and you know, the military Trump did what he did, you know what I mean? With taking care of a certain person. And after that, the whole world knows it was like basically World War III. Stuff was about to pop off. It was on the edge. So out there, I'm just like, yo, this is like gang shit. This shit's crazy. I might as well be back home. Like, I'm in the military, somebody just killed somebody, now I gotta put on, cause you just killed this dude with nobody, like, come on, bro. That's crazy. So at that point, I was kind of like, yo, like, you really don't care about me. And I'm not really trying to put my life on the line for like people that don't truly care about you. You know what I mean? So during that time, it was just a lot going on, you know what I mean? So within 2020, like we all know, there was a lot of racial conflict. There's a lot of global just unrest, military conflict and stuff like that in the Middle East, especially where I was. So like, I'm sitting here like, why am I putting my life on the line if I'm gonna go home and still be profiled? Or I could be out here with no family, like my family's nowhere around, and I could be bombed at any moment. Like, shit could really get crazy at any moment. And as soon as I thought about that, I'm like, I need to go. I need to go. I did my time. I handled my business and I took it on the chin. Did everything I needed to do. I surpassed every expectation of me. Got all the awards I needed to get. Got the promotions I needed to get. If I would have stayed in the military, then I would have went far. But I chose not to stay in the military. And it just be like that. Obviously, getting out the military makes a lot of people uncomfortable because the military provides a certain lifestyle for you where you don't really have to ask for a lot. You don't have to, every check is guaranteed. You have a roof over your head, you have food, and you stay for 20 years and you're good for the rest of your life, to be honest. But I don't necessarily feel like living in comfort should be a 20-year sacrifice. You know what I mean? I feel like living in comfort should be basic, bare minimum. Like, I don't want to live in comfort, I want to live in excess. I want to create opportunities for people that have never seen these things before. Life is short, bro. I want to drive the fastest car. I want to live in the nicest place. I want to see the nicest things, eat the nicest foods. I don't want to just do 20 years and just be comfortable. Some people, that's for you. And I'm not trying to shit on nobody. But at the same time, for me, I'm trying to supersede everything. I'm trying to do amazing things, unprecedented things. So for me, the military just wasn't for me. There's no hard feelings. Like, I love the military for what they've done for me, but it was time for me to go. It was a stepping stone to where I needed to get to right now and where I'm continuously going. And it's obviously like giving me a great reputation, like an honorable discharge is like money in the bank, you know what I mean? So I'm proud that I served, proud I did my 4 years and I kept it pushing. I learned a lot, and I've grown, I've matured drastically. It's 4 years of your life. So I'm proud that I did that. And I'm happy that it's over, to be honest. So my advice, what would be my advice for somebody that is in the military contemplating, should I get out the military? Should I stay in the military? Should I extend? Should I re-enlist? Whatever. So for me personally, you have to take, I'm a logical person, so you have to take the logical approach. You have to take pros and cons of every situation that you do, right? So if you want to stay in the military, what are the pros and what are the cons? If you want to get out the military, what are the pros, what are the cons? Now, if you're gonna get out the military, you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan. Emphasize, you need to have a plan. And the military is not really gonna let you get out without having a plan, to be honest, because they're just on your ass all the time. Like, what are you gonna do? 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 I knew what I wanted to do. But have a plan. Know if you wanna go home. I don't really suggest going home because the world is a big place. You haven't even seen like a quarter of it, or you've seen percentages of the world. So go somewhere else, start a life, do whatever. But pros and cons, pros and cons. I can't tell you to stay in the military. I can't tell you to get out the military. That's on you. But at the same time, you know, there's pros and cons to both of them. It's just whatever you're willing to deal with. So overall, man, like, I'm out the military. I'm happy to be out the military. We're gonna see what's in store for me in my future. I'm hustling, I'm grinding, but I was prepared for this. I got out the military for a reason, and now it's time for me to turn up. And now I actually have opportunities, and I'm in a location where obviously somebody's always gonna tell you what to do, but I'm getting closer. My goal is to get closer and closer and closer and taking baby steps to get to a point where nobody can ever tell me what to do. That's the goal. Went from the military, where they tell you everything, they have everything to do with what you do, to now I have a job where, like, obviously there's rules to it. You know what I mean? But, you know, fast forward, nobody's gonna tell me what to do, and I'm gonna be the boss. But in order to do that, you have to put in the work. You know what I mean? And right now, brick by brick, we putting in the work. But overall, man, I could just say I'm out the military. It still feels a little surreal to me, but we did it, we made it, and it's on to the next phase of life, you know what I mean? But yeah, once again, like, comment, subscribe, turn on your push notifications or whatever to make sure you know when I'm posting. Follow me on this journey. We're gonna get it together.